Ya, 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 ya. That is a rally cry from a college in Minnesota. It's a private college, St. Olaf College, up in Northfield, Minnesota. And they've got an old-fashioned, developed in the 1800s, rally cry. It's kind of like they're just drumming up excitement, and they're not calling out the enemy or yelling disparaging remarks across the field. It is just a basic ya 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 ya. I've started introducing that at some of my speaking engagements this past year, and it is proven to be a dopamine distributor. I mean, dopamine is what we need to squirt in our heads to make us feel better, make us feel good, make us more attentive. We need dopamine to make us feel better. And ya ya chant is a simple way for people to bring a little smile to your face and feel better about what you're doing and what you're about to do. So, my advice, let's give ya 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 a chance from now on. This is James Stordahl, Bipolar Dad. Punch in Bipolar Dad on Google and you'll see an array of stuff that I've been involved with in the last number of years. On list of part-time gigs since I retired from the Postal Service. And the list keeps getting longer. There's a lot to do. I'm a mental health advocate, and that's because I am bipolar 2. My wife and I have raised a daughter who is bipolar 1. That's another story. That's another couple of editions of this podcast coming up. If you've got bipolar, if you're depressed, if you've got anxiety, I'm going to offer you one number right now, 988. 988 is a magic number developed a couple years ago by the government, and it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week opportunity for people to call, whether you're out in the field, whether you're at a rave, whether you're sitting alone in your car, whether you're laying in bed. Call 988 if you need help. You can also, as a veteran, you can call the veteran hotline. 988 will get you there. We have got to work on our mental health. We have to jump the stigma hurdle. We have got to talk about mental health. No longer with subdued voices like we're going to a funeral, because just maybe you'll end up going to a funeral. Learn what to say to make it okay. That's one of the initiatives, the Healthiest State Initiative out of Iowa. MakeItOK.org/Iowa. Learn what to say to make it okay. Talking about mental illness can be difficult. Here are some tips. Do say, "Thanks for opening up to me." Don't say, "It could be worse." Do say, "How can I help?" Don't say, "Just deal with it." Do say, "I'm sorry to hear that. It must be tough." Don't say, "Everyone feels that way sometimes." Do say, I'm here for you when you need me. Don't say, we've all been there. Do say, I can't imagine what you're going through. Don't say, you've got to pull yourself together. Do say, can I drive you to an appointment? Don't say, maybe try thinking happier thoughts. Do say, how are you feeling today? Don't say, oh man, that sucks. Make it okay. MakeItOK.org/Iowa. Dial them up. Get some ideas. Now, I started reading from one of my books. I'm about ready to wrap up book number 9. It's called Orbits. Book number 8 is called Send My Mail to the End of the Trail. And you can get that for under $10. Get on Amazon. Dial up my name, James Stordahl. And they'll show you my 8 books that are available. Again, under $10. Here I am continuing to read from Send My Mail to the End of the Trail. Even before the 2020 virus rushed us, there was a set of data, not getting much coverage, that depicted a different America. Maybe I'm talking about the America that is represented by some of us. I know I have found myself talking back to the TV when some reporter would talk about how all this country is doing, how well we're doing. This not well reported set of data prior to the virus that depicted a different America overlooked the majority that struggles from month to month. You can see how fragile we are, as far as food security is concerned, with all the food lines around the country. For years, I have always thought the huge number of uninsured should be front page news. Well, they continue to talk about it. Most uninsured are working age adults. 28 million. How about that for a number? Up from 27 million before the virus. This is between the ages of 19 and 64. Now let's add the 23 million that have just been let go from their jobs. How many have been relying on their businesses for their health insurance? Before the virus hit, the national magazine published a stunning overview of the working poor and underpaid. One of the most powerful data points in the piece described how empty the decline in unemployment actually is. Having a job did not exempt anyone from poverty. Before the virus hit, about 12% of Americans, that would be 43 million, were considered poor. And yet they were employed. They earned an individual income below $12,140 a year, and slightly more than that for a family of 2. If you include housing and medical expenses in the calculation, it raises the percentage of Americans living in poverty to 14%. That's 45 million living in poverty in America. At that level of income, there's almost no way to pay for food and shelter in any sizable American city. That means people can now be employed and homeless. In America's big cities, chiefly because of the widening gap between rent and wages, thousands of working poor remain homeless. I know from studying this, because I was a guest speaker at the homeless shelter here in the Des Moines area, Des Moines, breadbasket of Iowa, 750 homeless. State of Iowa, 2,200 homeless. In the United States, more than 750,000 homeless. They're sleeping in shelters, on the street, or in their vehicles, sometimes along with their families. What is this saying about our country? In January of 2020, when the virus hit, fewer and fewer people had savings to weather time between jobs or emergency expenses. A third of the population has no savings, and another third have saved less than $1,000. Before the virus, 2/3 of American households were desperately scrambling to make ends meet from check to check. I fear for the new numbers following this next or current economic downturn, now being touted as the next Great Depression, with more than 30% of our country out of work. There is a problem in America. There is a loss of empathy in America. There is a real problem with dysfunctional families in America. Now, dysfunctional families, like the one I came from, are fertile ground for neglect, abuse, secrecy, addiction, or denial. Children's emotional needs go unmet because the parents' needs take precedence. One or both parents might be suffering from a substance use disorder, personality disorder, or mood disorder. In my family, World War II caused the damage. My dad came back from World War II damaged, carrying a lot of guilt, a lot of load. He never got grips, came to grips with the damage done, and refused to go to the VA hospital. And his therapy was at the Legion Club or the VFW Club, where you could drink cheap drinks and talk about old times. Sometimes the adults in dysfunctional families have authoritarian my way or the highway parenting styles, or have a toxic and abusive relationship with each other. In most cases, parents are emotionally immature or unavailable. Emotionally immature is what hit a lot of us from the Great Generation, because our parents were the silent type. Figure it out on yourself. I did. That was the story. They were caught up in workaholism, shopaholism, gambling, overeating. No parent is perfect, but in dysfunctional families, the problem in the household are ignored or denied. In our family, it was ignored. Children who dare to raise these issues may be shamed or punished, leading them to deny their own perceptions of reality and suffer from low self-worth. I know when I'd bring up subjects, my dad would leave the table within 5 minutes. We'd all get real quiet if I'd ask certain questions. I have suffered from low self-esteem all my life. And I'm working on it. This podcast is one example of how I'm working on it. I've now written 8 books as a mental health advocate, and that's available on Amazon. You just have to dial up Amazon, punch my name in, James Stordahl. You can get on my website, www.jamesstordahl.com. You need a mental health advocate to talk about living with depression, living with bipolar disorder. I'm your guy. I'll go anywhere. I'm retired. I'm retired from the Postal Service. I'm retired from the Army. I'd love a road trip. You let me know. I've got a number of part-time gigs. You can see it when you dial me up on Google and check me out. And Substack, James Stordahl, 955-980.substack.com. Let's get involved. Let's talk about it. Let's jump this stigma hurdle. Bye-bye.